Well, there. Good evening, my fellow friends, colleagues, and associates. Welcome once again. This is John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. I hope you had a great Valentine's Day, or if you're still out with your loved one, having dinner, or at home doing something special, I hope it's a memorable Valentine's Day. And if you are new to any of my streams, you're welcome. And you are here to inspirations for your life, inspirations for your life. And if you're new, every Saturday we start off with a new topic, basically a main topic to Friday night, 7 days. And each night we have something we talk about a little more specific to the general topic. If you're coming back, well, welcome back, friends. It's great to have my loyal subscribers back, and I hope that many of my new visitors will become loyal subscribers like many of you. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not already, notice my QR code at the top right. You can just take your phone, scan that. That will bring you over to my link tree. In case you are wondering what my link tree is, just go to linktr.ee/JOHNCMORLEY/SERIALENTREPRENEUR, or that's linktr.ee/John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, no spaces. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, what are we talking about tonight? Well, we are talking about, yes, what reward will you give yourself? So, when we're thinking about rewards, um, is a reward something that you get immediately, or is it something that maybe takes some time? Now, sometimes a reward that takes a little time to get will motivate us to achieve the goal. The important thing is that if you have a big goal and you don't reach it immediately, you want to set some smaller milestones and have some smaller rewards in there, right? So that's what we would do to reward ourselves. So when we think about um, rewarding is just a way of emphasizing the good habits that we have. And so by reinforcing them, similar to Pavlov and the dog, we keep experiencing that dopamine in our brain. And also we keep growing and being able to have a life that is amazing. Now, the reason that some people have challenges with rewards is because they want everything like now, they want everything today. And so, although rewards are nice to get today, I think the reward that you have to wait a little bit for has just a little bit more value. Why do I say that? Well, when you have to work a little bit for a reward, then you're more apt to want to celebrate it when you get it because you put effort in it, you put time into it, and it feels like an achievement, right? Have you ever gone to these events? Sometimes religious organizations have them, and they give everybody a trophy. Now, I know you're probably saying, well, that's something they do to be nice, but it's not a good thing when they do that because that means that everybody gets a trophy and then there's no reason to want to compete. Also, I want to share with you today, I'm really happy on Valentine's Day. We have broken 100 followers on John C. Morley's Serial Entrepreneur on LinkedIn. Our next goal is 150. Once we do that, we'll petition to LinkedIn and ask them so that we'll be able to stream directly to John C. Morley Serial Entrepreneur Group. So thank you so much for helping me reach 100 loyal followers here on John C. Morley Serial Entrepreneur. Show me some love. If you're on Facebook, John C. Morley Serial Entrepreneur, LinkedIn, John C. Morley Serial Entrepreneur, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Periscope. You can do that by liking, support, insight, curious mark. And then why don't you comment below? Tell me what the best reward you ever got or ever gave to yourself. What was the best reward? If we had to think about that for a moment, what was it? And so if I had to ponder back and say the best reward that I ever gave myself, oh, there were so many great rewards. I think the best reward that I gave myself was knowing that when I achieved this goal, that I would be able to do something I never could before. Maybe it was a certification, or maybe it was just some more freedom. But I think the real best goal that I had was when I made my first sale many, many years ago. And I remember the feeling of that first sale. And I took myself out to a great dinner that night. And then I remember that I just keep reliving that sale. What was it like? What did it feel like? And just knowing that I did something that was pretty remarkable. Do you ever feel in your life that there's a reward that you want, but you don't know how, you're going to get the reward? Now, is the reward the goal? Well, it can be, but I'm recommending that you have a reward that's something that motivates you to the goal. For example, if you're losing weight, maybe when you lose your first 10 pounds, you're going to do something, right? And by doing something, you might decide that you're going to you're going to do something nice for yourself. Maybe that's going out to a movie. Again, it's not food. Maybe it's giving yourself a spa treatment, right? Or maybe it's buying yourself something that's not food. Maybe it's some clothing. So when your body knows that you get a reward, it's more apt to want to help you the next time. Think of a reward as tip. Do you know what a tip is? So a tip is something in America that we actually give out. Usually it's cash after great services have been rendered. But in Europe, tips means something else than it does in the United States. To ensure prompt service. And I learned this from a gentleman many, many years ago. God rest his soul. His name was Ray. I won't give you his last name. It started with an L, though. Nice gentleman. And he said to me, John, he says, my dad was having this event at a country club. And he says, John, he says, you know what you have to do? I said, no, I don't. He says, your dad's got to go tip the people first. You know why? Because when you tip them first, they're going to be so eager to want to give you great service. A lot of people don't want to tip first, but when you tip first, it says, hey, I'm actually paying you in advance to do something that I expect you're going to do. A lot of people tip at the end if their services were good, but if they weren't good, then you know what happens? Then they don't get a tip. But if you tip first, which is what they do in Europe, we don't do this in the US too much. But if you're doing like a certain type of event, maybe it's a wedding or a special type of event or party you're having, they always say you should tip the maitre d' and the staff in the beginning. What I often tell people is that it's a good thing to tip them. Maybe you're going to give them something, and you could say, hey, I'm tipping you now. Give us great service, and then you give us even better service. I'm going to tip you something at the end. So I think that's pretty amazing that you can do stuff like that. But a reward, we think of a reward as something that you get because of doing something else. We might have heard that if you report somebody that they're looking for, you get a reward. If you find a lost wallet or you find a dog, there's a reward, right? So that motivates people to go look. It's a shame that people don't just want to go look for their own greater good to help others. But when you put an intrinsic value, you put money to something, it makes people have a new perspective about having a motivation to go do something that they might have had no inclination to do. Let's take school for a moment. If a teacher says you need to do your homework, right? Not a lot of motivation. But if a teacher says, if you do your homework every day this week, I'm going to bring in cupcakes on Friday. Now, that's a great way to do it. But if the teacher said, if you don't do your homework, then I'm going to do this. So I like the idea of positive reinforcement because when we positively reinforce, it lets that dopamine escape in our brain and lets us feel so amazingly wonderful. It's a wonderful, safe high that we can have. And it happens because our body is in this homeostasis, this condition where we are one, where we feel like everything is just going our way. Have you ever had a day where everything you touch was just amazing, right? Now, you might bump into people and they're like, oh, it was a horrible day. You're going to get people like that. But you can make the choice, ladies and gentlemen, of whether your day will be good or whether your day will be bad. We've talked about this before. Again, we've got people here. We're going to go ahead and block you. We do block people for trying to put comments in the chat that are non-G rated. We already had 7 people blocked from the system, and they are not coming back anymore. So looks like we might have to do that again. We reported them to YouTube, reported them to Twitter and Twitch. And I want to thank them very much for banning these people, for not allowing them to come back in. It's something that when people just want to spam or they're bots, and they just feel that, I don't know, they feel like they're entitled to do this. I always say, if you're going to somebody's parade, don't rain on it. Let them have their parade. Let them have their party. As long as they're not harming or hurting someone else or defaming them or causing anybody pain, let them have their party. Let them have their moment in the spotlight. So when we talk about reward, so reward could be to get fame, right? A reward could be to get fame. When you get fame, you have this amazing feeling. Have you ever been, let's say, whether it was in sports or maybe it was in school, and the teacher or the person who's running the program calls you up and they say your name and they say, will the following students or will the following people come forward for exemplary volunteership in the community? And then they mention your name. And I don't know about you, but that's got to give you such a high. It's got to leave you on such a point that's so amazing. And when you're at that tip, that big point, you just want to jump even higher. But why is it that people that get to that point drop when they've been at that such high? Do they get tired? I think what happens is they get lazy. And the reason they get lazy is because they see other people not doing something. And I want to tell you something. You have a choice in your life. You can be a follower or you can be a leader. If you're a leader, you can have whatever you want. If you always follow, then what you get will be only what you follow. Isn't that remarkable? Scan that QR code, all right? Tag your friends, your colleagues, and your associates. Share this out with everyone you know. And of course, go to my YouTube channel, John space C space MORLEY space serial entrepreneur, and look for the key phrase, help keep our content free. And then below that, look for the PayPal link and make the choice, ladies and gentlemen, to buy my team and I a cup of coffee. We'll be so grateful. With those pennies and dollars, we'll invest into new hardware, new technology, new equipment, software, people, and facilities to give you the most jaw-dropping, motivational content to get you out of procrastination and into action. And again, my gratitude for helping us reach 100. We got to make our next goal, which is 50. And once we do that, which I know we'll do pretty soon, we're going to be able to stream live to LinkedIn, John C. Morley's Serial Entrepreneur page, which I know is something you've all been asking me for, but there's a requirement. You have to have 150 people on the page before you're allowed to do that. They let me stream to my profile because I have several thousand people that follow my profile. It has been an amazing evening being with you tonight, and I hope that you remember that a reward in your life is something that will not only propel you to greater depths and even larger dreams in the future, but will put you into a state of pure bliss. I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. Have yourself an amazing rest of your Valentine's Day evening, and I hope you have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow February 15th. Take care, everyone.